to give you the background on that as well, is the first book that I tried to write called Start Starting, Stop Stopping. But I stopped because I didn't know where to go.
you can't have that as the title of the book and then stop, right?
Unfortunately, I never finished the book.
Yeah.
Be Nice Individuals Podcast.
Hey folks, this is Thaddeus on the Be Nice Individuals Podcast, which is hosted here at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio. A very special guest in studio, Minesh, and I'm going to try it again for the second time. The last name, was it Baxi?
Baxi.
Did I get it? I got it. So I had to restart, not because of a name mispronunciation, but because I wanted Minesh to be completely heard. So we had to raise up the microphone a little bit, and I got it twice. You guys won't see the first time. But anyway, Minesh, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing fabulous, feeling blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a nice day. I hear that there's supposed to be some weird weather coming in next week, though.
I don't look at the forecast much.
I try not to either, but apparently the word is there's supposed to be some type of H word coming.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
It's not coming here, I know that.
Why? Because you just said no, it can't come. So for the people out there, if you're not familiar with Minesh, we're going to talk to him a deep dive into his company, which is Minesh and Associates. And really kind of what he's doing in space in the community. But I've seen him around networking and stuff. And so we're going to really get more into that because I think it's cool. Minesh, tell us more about that for the people that don't know. But you're around, but for the people that don't know, what are you doing in the community and what is your company all about?
Well, thank you for asking, Thaddeus. So I moved to Palm Coast roughly 2.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I moved, I had a very clear goal. I've been a business coach and financial coach for 24 years.
That's a long time.
Yes, I published 12 books. And I knew instantly that one of the things that I really, really wanted to do was to reach out to the people in the community who are entrepreneurs and provide them ways that they can have in terms of understanding, knowledge, and skill and activity as well, make more money, save more money, and give more money. What I find in Palm Coast, there are a lot of good, generous entrepreneurs who unfortunately may not be making the kind of money that they thought they would be making, and they are not having the flexibility as much as they like. Now, there are some very successful people here as well, but I'm talking of the ones who are working hard every single day.
Yeah.
They are working hard, they have a great program, they also are looking out to help and provide value to the audience, but they somehow do not seem to have really understood and implemented ways to make money.
Yeah. Let me back up for a second on that because you said a lot there. 24 years, though.
Mm-hmm.
That is a freaking long time. I'm not 24, but there's some people out there that are going to be watching this, and that is as old as they are.
My daughter is 21.
Your daughter? Okay. So how did you get into it first? Let's talk about that.
Well, good question.
Yeah.
So I have a bachelor's in electrical engineering.
Uh-huh.
And a master's in systems engineering and management. So I was a programmer for 12 years. I was frustrated at my job because I like people interaction like you, Thaddeus.
Yeah.
I like being around people. I like not sitting at a desk all day long, programming, talking to a computer.
Sure.
So 12 years ago when I got fired, 12 years later after in the job I got fired, I was looking for doing something else. I'm like, I'm not a good employee in that position. So I might as well to find myself something else. So I always enjoyed going to seminars, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, some of you may not know those names.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening is I always enjoyed speaking and coaching.
Yeah.
And that's the direction I went in. So I said, hey, I want to be a speaker, author, and a coach. And that's what I've been doing for 24 years.
Wow. So 12 books, though. I want to speak to that because in those 12 books, ChatGPT wasn't around. So these are actual books that you had to sit down and write, as opposed to nowadays, you can have so much help from ChatGPT.
Correct.
Yeah, you can have so much help from AI, which I love AI. You love AI. but these you actually have to pour your heart and your soul into. Tell us more about the 12 books. I know you have one there with you, but what do they cover? The genre, you might say.
Good question. So I had a client who had a networking group of about 200 people.
Okay.
So similar to like a BNI concept.
Yeah.
And he hired me as a coach. And I said, hey, one of the things you should do to establish yourself as an authority is to be an author. He says, Minesh, I don't know how to write a book. I said, don't worry, I don't either. But I paid an expert $10,000, took a year's program so that I could write and publish a book. So we co-authored the book together called Network Your Way to $100,000 and beyond.
Yeah.
And using that book, he was able to leverage and become known as an expert and grow his network that he wanted to. So that became a good experience for me, and I really found that I enjoyed it. Now, to give you the background on that as well, is the first book that I tried to write called Start Starting, Stop Stopping. But I stopped because I didn't know where to go.
you can't have that as the title of the book and then stop, right?
Unfortunately, I never finished the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I took the training.
Huh?
So a lot of people are not where they want to be. And
Yeah.
that's the reason I'm mentioning that.
Right.
They're frustrated, whether it is they're not making the money they want, they don't save the enough money they have, need to save, or they just don't have the right relationships, health, etc. So my principle is very simple. If I'm not where I want to be, if I'm getting frustrated by certain situations over and over again, somebody has the solution.
Yeah.
That's why I coach. So I hired a book coach so I could learn about writing books, and I enjoyed the process so much that I have published 12 books.
That's amazing. And now you're probably addicted to publishing books and whatnot. I imagine once you get past like one or two, you just keep churning them out.
Correct.
And they're all based around relationships and finance, I assume.
Well, some of them are for my clients who are in high achievers who employ people.
Okay.
And because I was a misfit at my job, I want my clients to not hire misfits at jobs either.
Yeah.
So I have a book called Stop Hiring Losers.
And that's one right on the screen here.
Yep, you can see Stop Hiring Losers, $1 Million Team Secrets, Secret
Yeah.
to Rich Rewarding Relationships, Network Your Way, 100K Income Mastery. So different, but mainly they are all designed to help a small business owner understand how to be a better business owner by getting more clients, hiring better employees, and being financially sound.
And one of the things too you were talking about as it segues into this is saving money and making money. Now that's going to relate to Stop Hiring Losers as well. Is that kind of integrated into that book, or is that some other book, or is that some program that you put on?
Good. So both of them can be included. The first
Yeah.
thing is, if you grow your business, eventually you will need to hire people.
Yeah.
So Stop Hiring Losers is to make sure you hire people that can give you the time and freedom in order to grow your business.
And they'll make you more money.
They will make you more
yeah,
money.
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saving money is not inherently in those books directly as much, but the idea behind it is, if you are doing well, then you should make more money, save more money, and give more money.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to be generous, but let's first focus on making more money.
Sure.
Then it'll be a good place. I'm sure you know the statistics. I may not be accurate on this, but half the country does not have $1,000 in their bank account.
Yeah.
They think of credit card as their emergency fund,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, so we need to teach people that everything you make, you should definitely focus on pay yourself first. And hence, which is one of the reasons we have started a project called Debt Free Flagler. We want every single individual in the community who has any situation to get free coaching on what to do to get out of debt, because without getting out of debt, without that survival, if they're in the survival mode, they're going to be in trouble. So we want them to make sure that they are able to start thinking, breathing openly, to say, I can sleep at night. I know I don't have another credit card bill to pay off.
Yeah.
So my focus is very simple. Let's teach people more about how to get clients, which makes money. Also, to make sure that they have good habits to save money, and they can be generous. Like this next week, when we have a monthly seminar, we'll be supporting a local nonprofit to show that we care about the people in the community who are helpful and who are trying to do the best for the community.
Yeah. So also though, with saving money or not having that debt, that's going to improve relationships. You know, it's often said the number one cause of divorce is finances, whatever. And I wrote down relationships as part of your coaching. Did I have that right? That you improve relationships as part of your coaching?
Yeah, so one of my books is called The Secret to Rich and Rewarding Relationship. Now, this is a very short book I wrote because I realize most people don't want to read a long book sometimes. And the concept is very simple. The concept is you make deposits and withdrawals in every relationship, in every transaction.
Yeah.
There is no neutral transaction.
Sure.
You're either adding value in a relationship or you are subtracting value in a relationship. The more you add value, just like a bank account, the more money you can withdraw. On the other hand, if you keep making withdrawals, the account goes bankrupt and the relationship ends. If it is in personal relationship like a husband-wife, it can end up in a divorce. If it's in a professional relationship, the client will no longer work with you, or if an employee, they will part ways. So you and I need to understand that every transaction we have is a relationship transaction of deposit and withdrawal. And the more relationships we build, which is really the foundation of getting more clients, is really simple. If you build enough quality relationships with people who are sincere, serious, who see the value in what you provide, your income will become automatically increasing in the right direction. Why? Because people value what you have to offer.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you are not focusing on building relationships, it becomes harder. Because now people don't see the value that you provide, and maybe they see you as transactional. Hey, you are here to take the money and leave. Right. That is not an attitude which is going to make people feel comfortable to bring more people to you.
Yeah, it's like adding value. It's giver's gain, that whole philosophy. And I know you just had on
Bob
exactly with the Go-Giver. Yeah. I believe I either read or listened to that book within the last 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so it was kind of interesting that you just had him on. Relationships is huge for really how a person will have business success. You know, I wasn't in business prior to moving here to Florida. And I always thought it was just more transactional. But when I came down here, I really learned that it's all about networking and really creating those relationships. And it seems like we think a lot alike on that subject. Would you say that, what percentage would you say the relationship has as far as a business goes? Would you say it's more than 50-50? Like that a person would need to have a relationship versus just being transactional? Or
good question.
Yeah.
So if you're building a long-term business, the relationship is 100%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because that is the brand that you have in your mind about that person and organization.
Yeah.
The more you feel connected to that brand, the more you're going to do business over and over and over.
Yeah.
Right? On the other hand, if you're looking for a one-off transaction, that's different. Their relationship is not that critical. All it means is, hey, I wanted something, they had the product or service, I got it.
Yeah.
And that's how most people think. But the bottom line is, if you pick a few key people in your life, a few key people in the business environment, and you nurture those relationships in a positive manner consistently, over a time period, those people will remember you, and because you are doing something of value to them and the people they know, they want to promote you as well. So if you have, let's say, 40 VIPs in your life that are quality people who understand who you are, what you offer, they're influential, and they care about you, and then you have, let's say, 40 previous clients or current clients who are really, really good clients, who are the type of people you want to work with. They don't always talk about discounts to you. They respect your time. They respect your services that you provide. And if you have roughly about 100 such relationships, most people should be able to make good money.
Absolutely. I feel like this is going to be super important when we're talking business to business. Like, yeah, it's good to have good relationships with your clients, but at the same time, if you have a great relationship with another business or referral partner, we might say, now they're going to keep you top of mind when they are talking to their customer for a specific service that you offer as it relates to their client. And so that nurturing relationship, they're going to throw your name out as much as they can, possibly because they like you. They know, like, and trust you. And then hopefully their client is going to have the same interaction. And they trust you with their clients.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because everybody trusts the relationship or really wants to guard the relationship they have with their current influence circle,
Sure.
whether it's the clients, family members, etc.
Mhm.
And they don't want to introduce you to anybody unless they feel extremely high level of likability trust factor
Yeah.
before they make that introduction. And you and I need to be aware is that when people are not introducing us to other people, there are only two things going on. Either they don't trust us at the level that they need to. And number two is we haven't made it easy and very, very approachable way of getting them to introduce us,
Yeah.
which is why what you might see on the screen there is called Unlock Your Client Attraction Mastery Potential Today.
Mhm.
Okay, so you can go to that web page, and when you click the client attraction system, it walks you through about 10 different questions. And in 60 seconds, you understand what are some of the things that you could do to be positioned as an expert so that people feel that you're a trusted advisor, you have their best interest at heart, you know what you're talking about, you can add value, and over a time period, those things add up, compound the effect, and you become somebody who's positioned as somebody they can easily talk to, buy from, refer you. Like my daughter just recently, Macy, you know her. She's only 21.
Yeah.
She spoke on the TEDx Cherry Creek stage in Colorado. And she's obviously becoming a very credible person.
Mhm.
And she did just like you, interviewed a lot of people. She has
Yeah.
done like 380 interviews in the last 3.5 years.
That's a lot.
Yes, a lot of successful business people.
Yeah.
In fact, she is in front of those people together, some of those people who are $1 million earners plus
Yeah.
in that group. There are like at least 100 of them that she has interviewed make $1 million plus a year in income.
Nice.
And she interviewed them at a young age.
Mhm.
And she's actually at a conference today, right now, listening to some of those people, learning from them, because that's what I want to do, is help her be surrounded by those people who can understand that, hey, you know what, to learn what you need to do, you need to be around people who know what they do in order to
Absolutely.
get to the level they want to go. So
Yeah.
anyway, the bottom line, which I think Thaddeus, which you are about and I'm about, and I'll add one more point here as well. There are some people like you and me, sometimes we go overboard on giving.
Mhm.
We don't know how to ask for money. And one of the reasons I find a lot of people are not clear on making more money is they haven't created enough clarity in their mind about the value that they offer to the other person.
Yeah.
And because they don't have that clarity, they're not able to put a market price to it that people would be willing to pay if only we packaged it and approached people correctly.
Yeah.
So, for example, you are doing this great offer today, and I appreciate that because I think you are adding more value. Now, the question becomes, okay, how can we create something which makes in their mind very clear that this is useful to them, but it also has a certain charge which is reasonable there and helps them make sure the transaction is a win-win transaction.
And that's a good segue really into your accountability program that you have, because there's plenty of business owners that may read a book, but that is not accountability. And a lot of business owners need that sort of community and somebody to hold them accountable, just like the Bible, iron sharpens iron, right? And so tell us more about that program that you have.
Thank you. So I have a program called Millionaire Mindset Series. And the reason for that program, I have different levels, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 2 and level 3 get more time from me. But level 1 group currently includes a daily group accountability. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 10:15 is the current time we have in Eastern Time Zone, where people can come and share their wins, network with other people, but they can set goals on a daily basis. My goal is very simple. I want them to have a very good offer that they are consistent with. Number 2 is focus on putting that offer in front of enough people every day. So if you are somebody who's a business owner wanting to make more money, just do 2 things. Have a good offer. Alex Hormozy calls it the $100 million offers, irresistible offers, etc. And then put it in front of as many people you can as a day. Like Alex Hormozy says, 100 DMs a day. That's what his slogan is.
Yeah.
So I believe in that exactly. So if you are somebody who's saying, hey, Minesh, I'm not making much money. Well, maybe you don't have a good offer,
Yeah.
or maybe you're not putting in front of enough people. Well, if you're on an accountability program on a daily basis, where that's one of the key things we are talking about, I'm not going to force everybody to speak up because that's up to them, but at least I'm giving them the opportunity to stay focused on the two things they should be doing: having a good offer and putting it in front of enough people every single day.
Yeah, that's super important. And if left to our own devices, I feel like as business owners, we get lazy. Like, I don't want to do those calls or whatever today, or I'm not feeling so good about it. But when you have a community like that can come alongside you and both encourage, but also make sure that you're not being too easy on yourself, I think that's really when you can excel. Just like you said, Macy's out learning and gleaning from people who are successful in the industry. So at the same time, this room of people who are holding each other accountable, you're going to have various levels of success. And not necessarily a person's the smartest one in the room, which is great, but they're going to be gleaning from all these other people that have various levels of success and experience, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
So would you throw out your contact information so that people can get a hold of you? And did you want them to go to this website or something else?
They can go to this website. I think it's a good one to start with.
Yeah.
Okay, you can, I don't know if the link is there, but if they can not see the link, then we can put the link. They can email me at minesh@mbaxi.com, which is minesh@mbaxi.com. They can directly text me. I'm pretty approachable, 248-866-0063. That's still a Michigan number. And they can connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn as well. I'm not that difficult to find. Here is the bottom line. If you are somebody who's eager to learn and grow, somebody who's putting in the hard work, then the only reason you're not succeeding is you don't have what I would call a GPS, which is a coach. A GPS in that respect is somebody who's going to help you get from where you are to where you want to go, but has either done it themselves, most likely, and has helped a number of people achieve that as well. So ask yourself, are you setting goals that you haven't accomplished before? Are you setting big goals for yourself and your team and your business? Then you must have a coach who is your GPS to take you where you haven't been before.
That's a wonderful way to think of it. So folks out there, make sure you reach out to Minesh. I've been to a couple of his luncheons. Lunch and learn is what you call it. Really, to get surrounded by some of the folks that are part of the accountability program he has. Also, just the amount of experience, 24 years, that's a long time to really be immersed into this community and into this sort of business to help other people. So plenty of stories, success stories out there about him coming alongside other businesses to support them, to hold them accountable, and to make sure that they get to their version of success. So again, this has been Thaddeus on the Be Nice Individuals podcast with Minesh here in studio. This podcast is hosted at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio. And like always, this is a space people can come and rent out. Business owners that want to shout out their business, have a business intro here, perfectly fine. Also, individuals that might want to share their ideas. Maybe they want to talk politics, whatever. It's their space for that time period that they block out. Also, political candidate. You want to come in here? We have call-in features. I'm waiting on a political candidate to take me up on this. But this call-in feature, we can go live here. Yes, I'm talking to you, political candidates that's watching this. We can go live and you can transparently answer questions that are asked while on the air. It'll be wonderful. People will love you because you're being transparent. Let's make it happen. But again, this has been Thaddeus on the Be Nice Individuals podcast, and we'll see you next time.